All right, we have another problem. What size sheet of metal is required to fabricate a 10-inch long and 3-inch in diameter? Okay, so what size sheet metal is required to fabricate a cylinder that has these dimensions? Okay, so we have 3 inches in diameter, it's right here, and we have 10 inches long or tall. However, we're going to think about it. And so what we know is what we want to do is figure out the length and the width of this sheet. That's basically what we're looking for, length and the width of this sheet. We know the length because the length is 10 inches. The idea is this is a seam. If we undo the seam, however it was made, welded, or whatever was done to it, and we unwound it out this way, you can unfold it like you would a sheet of paper and it'd fold flat. So we're trying to figure out the two dimensions of this. Again, we already know this length is equal to 10 inches. So we need to figure out this width. So it does give us this nice hint right here because it tells us note C is equal to pi times D. What is that E? What is this? This is the equation for the circumference of a circle. So the circumference of a circle, if I take the circumference, what is the circumference? It's the distance around the circle, right? It's like the perimeter of a square. It'd be the distance around. Like if you have a property and you have a perimeter, you could have a fence around the perimeter, the outside of it. And the circumference of a circle is the outside distance of the circle. So we know that if we can calculate the circumference of a circle, we can find this width. So with that, we know that circumference is equal to pi times the circumference is 3. So we're just going to use our calculator. Again, I'm using a TI-36X Pro. When I put it in, I'm going to hit pi and then times 3. Whenever that, in my calculator, what happens is I get 3 pi. That's not the answer I want because I don't want to have this pi in there. So what I need to do is hit the fraction decimal button that's right above the enter sign, and it will convert it to a decimal. And that's going to come out to be 9.42477791. And this is in inches. The answer choice that's not shown here, it has it in fraction, in a decimal fraction. So the decimals, or the fractions I would see, ruler fraction, the fractions I would see on a ruler. So I need to get rid of this and change it into ruler fraction. So there's a process to do that. So what we would do is take this number. I don't want to round it until the end. What I'm going to do in my calculator is go hit -9. It'll say answer -9. Then I hit enter. What that's going to do is remove this 9. There is a full 9 inches on this width, but we need to figure out what percentage of an inch is this, or what part of an inch is this 0.42 of an inch. It's going to be a little less than half of an inch. We can see that because it's less than 50%, it's less than 0.5 or less than 50% of an inch. So we need to figure that out. So we take that, and this number is going to come out. We're going to be left with 0.42477791. What I need to do is multiply this by 64. We're multiplying by the most we can divide an inch into in aviation with just using a machinist scale or a ruler. So we're going to multiply by 64, hit times 64. And what comes out is 27.18578 ... Okay, so with this part, what I'm only worried about, I only want this number. And I need to decide, do I round it up to 28 or keep it at 27? What's going to decide that is this digit right here. So anything above 5, I'm going to round up. Anything below 5, I'm going to just keep it at 27. So what I'm going to do is just keep this at 27 and put it over 64. And so I would come over here and be 27 over 64. If you ever get an answer choice that is not exactly what you have, take it to the closest option that is available.